Well, good afternoon. This is not for the 8th week in a row, Marc McMain on your Wednesday afternoon. This is Jeff Hood sitting in for Double M while he's out running for State Senate.
That's right.
And Chastity, we have a cloud cover here in the Good Hope, Bostwick area.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Kind of got some rain in the area.
That's what I hear.
I hope so.
We could get a little rain
We
tonight.
need it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
You know, we've had a little bit of rain off and on, I guess, over the past 4 or 5 days, but
Thankfully.
yeah,
Yes.
but not nearly enough. So,
Well, hopefully enough to kind of help with some of the fires in the
oh,
south.
yeah.
Great.
And they did get a fair amount down in, like, southeast Georgia, and I think that has helped them contain those
Yes.
forest fires, so
Thankfully.
that was a blessing.
Yes.
But, yeah, I think we're going to get possibly a couple of inches of rain, maybe.
Wow.
I'm good with
Okay.
that. I don't want the tornadoes
So,
that could.
Let's check the forecast. So we have
Yeah.
a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 4 p.m. So expect partly sunny skies with a high near 83 and some southwest winds. Gusts is up to 20 miles per hour. So
Well,
it's
that's-
coming in.
Yeah,
It's
20,
coming in.
20 miles an hour isn't
Not
that bad.
terrible. No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that I don't think that will knock anything over in my front yard.
No.
So we should be.
it'll be a
we
nice
should be
little
good.
breeze.
Yeah.
It'll feel good out there.
Oh yeah.
And then the same tonight, so you have a chance of showers and thunderstorms as well, and possibly a thunderstorm after 10 p.m. So, and some more southwest wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour. So, but
Okay.
we have 100% chance of rain this evening. So,
Okay.
chances have increased slightly.
Yep. So I think prepare for some rain on your morning commute on
There you go.
Thursday.
Yes.
You may need a raincoat
Yes.
or
Few extra
an umbrella,
minutes.
or you may
Yep.
just want to put your running shoes on and just run through the rain and get to your car or your office or
There you
school or
go.
wherever you're headed. So, yeah, again, this is the Marc McMain Show, hosted on Wednesdays by Jeff Hood. Until Marc can figure out how this race is going to go for the Senate, and then we'll get Marc back in here. But let's talk about news of the day. Well, I guess, what made news a couple of hours ago was the announcement that Ted Turner has passed away.
Oh.
Now, I'm old enough to remember Ted Turner, but when I say Ted Turner, what does that mean to you since you're so young?
Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, he not only owned the team for a while, but he actually he fired the coach, and he became the coach temporarily.
Yes.
Until Major League Baseball said, no, we don't want the owner being the coach. So
And we have Turner Field Stadium.
we did. That is
Okay.
correct. Until they built Truist Park.
Oh,
Yeah,
so that
but yeah.
replaced. I see.
Yeah, the stadium there in downtown Atlanta that they built for the, I guess they built that for the Olympics. Is that right, Paul? Yeah. Okay. Tall Paul in the studio.
Yes.
Answering all the
Doing
questions
some
we
IT
dish out
work.
at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an IT. He
is.
can do it all.
He can. Jack
not
of all
only
trades.
he can not only do IT work and answer trivia and do radio work, but who knows what else.
He's a great teacher, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
He
is.
knows it all.
Paul is
so,
amazing. We love Paul.
He's the man.
Yeah. Well, so Ted Turner, yeah, I think around here a lot of people will remember that he did own the Atlanta Braves for a while, back 70s, 80s, and then they became America's team. Do you know why they became America's team? Because of something Ted Turner did.
The tomahawk chop.
No, not the tomahawk chop.
Okay.
He was an innovator in media and television because he bought this little just nothing TV station in Atlanta, Channel 17.
Yes, I
that was
remember.
because I remember as a
Yes.
kid, we would have our rabbit ears on. Now this is in the 70s, middle 70s. We would have the rabbit ears would have to adjust because we were far enough away from Atlanta. We got a little snowy reception. Kids today don't understand because
They have no clue.
how do you don't have HD?
Yeah.
Not back
They
then.
have so many channels and
Yeah.
streaming. They wouldn't know anything about Gilligan's Island on Channel 17.
That's right. So we would watch WTCG Channel 17 after school or on the weekend, and they had some pretty cool programming. And it was just a little independent station. And so Ted Turner bought it, and he started airing the Braves games on Channel 17. And then he did something, and again, when I say he was an innovator, he worked it where he put Channel 17 on cable outlets around the country.
Kind of created a network?
Yeah, specifically the Southeast. And so he captured an audience. And back then, if you had cable, you could just turn on, they called it the Superstation.
You were fancy.
17. And it made superstars out of the Atlanta Braves players. Yeah. Awesome. And, of course, he founded CNN, Cable News Network.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had an eventful life, and then he had some health issues, and he passed away, I think it was earlier today, at the age of 87.
87.
So,
wow.
yeah, Ted Turner passes away earlier today. Lived in Georgia most of his life. I think he had a ranch out in Montana as well.
Nice.
He loved going out to Montana. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, are you feeling some pain at the pump, Chastity? Because you have a very large vehicle out here in the parking lot.
Yes.
So
I have been actually thinking electric lately because of the gas prices being just so, they just don't seem no end in sight. So,
well, there could be.
Really?
Because now this is a moving target.
Yes.
Or it bounces around.
Yes.
But the latest, earlier today, is it looks like that there may be an end to that war with Iran. But we've heard that before.
Sure.
So we'll see, but it sounds optimistic, like they've got something worked out. And I tell you, according to AAA, earlier today, nationwide, regular unleaded, not premium, regular unleaded, is going on average $4.53 a gallon.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's painful. And now in Georgia, remember, our fuel tax has been suspended by Governor Kemp.
Thank you.
Well, that is set to lapse in a couple of weeks. Tuesday, May the 19th at 11:59 p.m. That unless he extends it.
Yes.
That fuel tax suspension will end. And what does that mean? So you're saving 33 cents a gallon on gasoline, and then around 37 cents on diesel. And we will see. I'm hopeful that the prices at the pump will just drop if we get this skirmish completed with Iran and get all that settled.
Absolutely.
That would be the best scenario. I know that oil was down 6% on world markets earlier today, and that's a good sign. But it's been bouncing around. So,
well, if our listeners are paying attention to your past shows, they'll learn how to save even more at the pumps.
Well, they will.
With their Kroger advantages that you tell us all about throughout your stint here, and we've really I've enjoyed hearing about the way we can save with our Kroger Plus points.
Yeah,
correct?
and not only Kroger, but Ingles does it.
Ingles,
where you can buy, you can sign up for their rewards programs. I think Kroger is fuel rewards. Ingles is something different, and there's some others. I think grocery store chains that do something similar that sell fuel. Now, who would have thought 20 years ago you're going to go to buy your groceries and they go fill your car with gas?
Right.
But it's become a thing. And so, if you buy gift cards, you can get double or quadruple points, and it adds up quick.
Thank you,
In fact, I
Jeff.
filled up my car last night, and I saved $1 a gallon.
See, that's incredible.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not trying to brag or
tips.
anything.
No,
but
that's amazing. Those savings go right back into our pocket.
Oh, absolutely.
And everything is just so expensive, so it would help. Even, a penny saved is, well worth it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, your money-saving tip of the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure the listeners really appreciate that.
Oh,
too.
I'm sure they do. Okay, so on the sports front, the Atlanta Braves, speaking of Ted Turner, former owner of the Braves, they are the hottest team in baseball. They are out in Seattle, and now they lost the opener on Monday, but they bounced back last night, and they, in a pitcher's duel, defeated the Mariners 3-2, and the hero was Matt Olson. And I think it was Bryce Elder that pitched, did a great job, but Matt Olson has been on a tear for the Braves, and he hits a key home run late in that game to seal the victory. Now, almost just as hot as our UGA baseball team in Athens. They're number one in the SEC, and they've got a big series coming up this weekend over in the Classic City when LSU rolls into town. That's Friday night, I think Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon. Okay. So that'll be interesting. And then locally, Dawsonville, Georgia's Chase Elliott won the NASCAR race this past Sunday at Texas, and the NASCAR boys will be in Watkins Glen, New York this weekend. And then on the high school front, now I'm excited about this because I went and saw Morgan County High School play baseball last Friday, and it was just an unbelievable game against Stevens County, and Morgan County came from behind in the final inning and won the game in a walk-off style grand slam from Davis Strickland. And what that did is it propelled Morgan County into the Elite Eight. So this afternoon, and hopefully before the rain hits, Morgan County will be hosting Rockmart, which is from West Georgia, in Madison today. A doubleheader, 2 for the price of 1, and you can get a good hamburger too while you're watching. That'll be first pitch at 3:30, and then the second game will follow around 6 p.m. and hopefully they can get that in before any rain rolls in. And then also over in Watkinsville, the Oconee County girls tennis team is in the Final Four, and they're at home today at 4:45 hosting North Hall. And then Oconee County's baseball team will be in Calhoun tomorrow. That game was originally scheduled, that doubleheader, for today, but they pushed it back to Thursday, and maybe they're thinking the rain will be out of there by then because Calhoun being further to the west. And that'll be 4:30 first pitch in the doubleheader, and second game will be around 7. Oconee County at Calhoun in state playoff baseball action tomorrow. One other thing, kind of speaking about sports, Clemson, Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, where they play football. You do you remember, we talked about this, who was performing a concert at Clemson last Saturday? Do you remember that? A little trivia?
Ooh.
Pretty sure we mentioned
we know it wasn't Jason Aldean or Luke Bryan.
And, of course, they were in Athens the Saturday before. But last Saturday, playing before like 90,000 fans at Clemson at Tiger Stadium was George Strait.
Oh.
Yeah. How about that?
Big concert.
I think Ben Bridges was over there and got a little bit of that action.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll have to get Ben on the air soon and tell him what he thought about the environment and all that. So.
That would have been a great concert.
Yeah. So that was this past Saturday. Now, I think we're going to see more of these concerts because the universities they now need to raise money to pay the football players for NIL. So who would you like to see if your wish list? Georgia's going to have a concert next spring. Who would Chastity like to see come and perform at Sanford Stadium?
I would love to see Ella Langley.
I love Ella. That's a good one.
Yes,
she is red hot right now.
I love her so much. So maybe Ella Langley would make a trip to Athens, Georgia. That would be great.
That would be. So
what about you? Who would you like to see?
I didn't get to go see George Strait.
Yes.
But if they brought George in next year, I would. I'd make plans to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like George. Now he's getting up in age; he's into his 70s, but
hey, he still looks good in those boots.
Well, he does, and he can still carry a tune in a bucket, as they say. So yeah, he's got so many hits, and I've always liked George Strait.
Me too.
And then, hey, want to remind you, coming up this weekend, now Friday night, we were talking about UGA, graduation.
Oh,
so
yes.
if you have someone that you know
We do.
that is graduating in the spring from the University of Georgia, they will have their, I guess they call it the commencement ceremony. I just call it graduation. That'll be this Friday night, and that'll be in the stadium over there. And then Saturday, you will want to make your plans to go to Stripling's in Oconee County.
Okay.
Saturday, 10 to 1, to see our very own Billy Brew and Les Lane.
Awesome.
And
another live remote.
The reason I go by and see those guys is to raid their little giveaway bag.
Oh, do
yeah.
you?
Because, they'll say if we're going to give things away, and I just go over there and well, I'm here. What are you going to give me? So.
Well, I love Stripling's meat department.
Oh, I do too.
They have the freshest meat.
They do.
And even like their breakfast sausage, everything is just so good. They're, the employees, they're just so welcoming. So I always love going to Stripling's.
Oh, absolutely. Jimmy Camp and the crew, they are fabulous.
Have Les and Billy there is just cherry on top.
That's right. Saturday, 10 to 1. And then finally, Sunday. What happens? What's so important about this Sunday?
This Sunday.
Sunday. What's going on this Sunday?
I'm not sure.
Do you remember the Merle Haggard song "Mama Tried"? Does that ring a bell? Mama?
I have the T-shirt.
Yeah. Well, does that ring a bell? Mama. Sunday.
Yes, duh. Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Mother's Day.
So sorry.
Don't forget Mom this Sunday,
right.
like Chastity just
No,
did. So.
I've already talked to my mom. Told her I was coming to see her.
Awesome.
So take her to little brunch.
All right. Awesome. All right. So you're listening to the Marc McMain Show on WMOQ. My name is Jeff Hood. Last week we had Coach Mark Rick on. A fabulous show.
Amazing.
I mean, it was amazing.
It was a treat.
I had so many comments about that interview, and it's archived. You can pull it up on our website and replay it and relive all the moments as we had the entire hour with Coach Mark Rick. Well, we've got a couple of great guests lined up for you, and the first of those two guests, we're going to take a break and get that gentleman on the air, so you'll want to stick with us on this Wednesday afternoon. A little cloudy here in the Good Hope area, but it's a beautiful day to be listening to the Marc McMain Show on Real Country Q92.3.
I chuckled at a cartoon that showed a news conference by a United States Senator who announced that he was divorcing his family so he could spend more time with politics. We may laugh, but the truth is many people make that statement every day. Maybe not with words, but with their actions. In fact, if a politician retires from his work to spend more time with his family, it becomes the lead story met with cynicism on the evening news, while the one who rejects his family advancing his career is commonplace. God tells us we should work hard to the glory of God, but He has clearly shown that we must have priorities. A relationship with God first, and family follows that. What does your focus tell you about your priorities? The Bible says that we have brought nothing into this world and we can take nothing out of it. It's good to focus on the things that last, like putting God first, and then family, and then people all around us that God loves. This is Bryant Wright, speaking right from my heart.
Visit rightfromtheheart.org and click television to watch our TV spots.
I'm Marc McMain, Republican for State Senate, and I approve this message.
Hi, this is former Congressman Jody Heiss. I know what it's like to stand up to the radical left, and I trust Marc McMain to do the same thing in the state Senate. I've watched Marc lead when he served as GOP chairman. He didn't just sit on the sidelines. He helped Republicans, including President Trump, win Georgia. So join me in keeping the main thing the McMain thing. Vote for Marc McMain on May 19th. Paid for by Mark for Georgia Incorporated.
When you walk through the doors of Campton Restaurant, you're not just here for a meal. You're part of a tradition. I'm fourth-generation owner Josh Parker, and for nearly 40 years, families in Walton County and surrounding areas have gathered around our tables to share stories, laughter, and good Southern cooking. From crispy fried chicken to heart-healthy daily specials, there's always a plate waiting with your name on it. We're open Tuesday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays. So come on by, make yourself at home, and experience Campton Restaurant, where family tradition meets every meal.
Welcome back to the Marc McMain Show, hosted by Jeff Hood on Wednesdays, and this is Real Country Q 92.3. Well, I'm sure everybody that's not on the planet knows that voting is underway for the primary, early voting or advanced voting, because the ads and the signs and the text messages and the billboards are just going crazy. But it's always good to have some insight on who these people are that are running, and where to go vote, when to vote. And one of my good friends is on the line with us now. We're going to talk about all that, and that is Chris Alexander, who is chair of the Morgan County Republican Party. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Jeff, how are you? Great to talk with you.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Always good to talk to my good friend from down in Madison. And Chris, I tell you, like I just said in the opening, you would have to be under a rock to not realize that early voting is underway, because not only all the advertising, but we are seeing candidates galore come through our area.
It really is. It's an impressive time, and I think it's exciting to see. We've had a decent turnout. I think we're around 4%, and I think that's trending pretty well with the state, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, actually, I checked a couple hours ago, and the statewide turnout's 4.2. So Morgan County is right there close to the overall state turnout.
That's right. That's right. So I feel optimistic about that. And you're right. It's an exciting time, and it's interesting. We had our board meeting last night with our executive committee with our Republican Party, and one of the common themes was everybody had been approached by at least a dozen people with regard to who they should consider voting for this time around. So there are a lot of choices out there, and fortunately, and you and I discussed this, we've got a lot of well-qualified people running, and that's always exciting when that's the case, isn't it?
Well, it really is, but, it also makes it for the people like me and you but the people that are not really, digging into who are these candidates. If it's really, in my opinion, it's a mistake to just show up uninformed to vote, and then you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't Google these people. And as I've said in the past couple of weeks, you got to have a plan and study the ballot, no matter where you're voting, from. I'm in Oconee, you're in Morgan. The statewide races are the same, but the local, maybe some of the district state races, the names are different. So you've got to know, because, there are so many names on this ballot. And you've got these questions and, races for Public Service Commission, judicial court, various things. In Oconee, they're asking us to renew the speed law. So, it takes a few minutes to vote and know, or try to figure out, who to vote for.
Jeff, you are spot on. And really and truly, I tell people they need to educate themselves. And even though, I'd love to be able to tell them who I think they should vote for, I have to refrain from that. As you well know, we are restricted as party officers showing any preference pre-primaries. So we have to stay as neutral as possible, and I pride myself in being able to do that. Although I do feel there, like anybody, there are people I may feel a little stronger about than others, but for the most part, we've got a good group. But, that's another reason people should get at least involved with their local county party so they can go to meetings. You all in Oconee have monthly meetings, as we do in Morgan County. And, we've been spending the last 7, 8 months, 9 months, introducing candidates who are running. And, if people had been attending those meetings judiciously, they would have a pretty good idea of who they want to vote for, and also having an opportunity to exchange ideas with other people who are somewhat impassioned about all this.
Yeah, and to your point, local is important, and all these candidates are coming through. And Chris, the Morgan County Republican Party is going to meet Tuesday night at Farmview, and you've got, I know, at least one candidate that's going to be coming in to speak that's running for a statewide office.
That's correct. We have we have Blake Tillery coming in, who's running for lieutenant governor. Fine young man, and we're excited to have him come and talk to our membership. But we want to invite anybody and everybody who would be interested in hearing him to come to that meeting. It's going to be next Tuesday at Farmview. We have dinner from 5:15 to 6, and then from 6 to 7 we have our meeting. And so we have calls out to several other candidates. Been rejected by a few, unfortunately, but they have busy schedules right now. We're kind of coming down to the line, right? Voting ends officially. It ends 2 Tuesdays from now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the actual election day is on May the 19th. Yeah,
May the 19th. That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got the rest of this week, next week, and then some people like my wife, they just, and that's fine, that want to wait till election day to vote. Chastity, who's co-hosting here, sitting in with me, she's one of those persons, and that's fine. I'm an early voter. I kind of waited a little bit because there's a couple of races I was a little torn on, and I kept doing research, and I wanted to see if there was any fallout. So I did not go on the first day of early voting, but I did go earlier this week.
Well, Jeff and I did the exact same thing for similar reasons. One of the things I think we all get a little tired of during this time is some of the negative ads that continue to permeate the airwaves, and I think. If there were any way to avoid that, I think we would all love to know what that answer is and to how to make that happen. But anyhow.
Well, now you mentioned the Morgan County Republican Party will be meeting this coming Tuesday night, 6 p.m. at Farmview. If you want to come earlier, they'll have the meal opportunity, the food. But you guys, I would argue around the state, I don't know if there's any better venue that a local political party meets at. I don't know. I can't think of any around the state that is any better than Farmview. What an amazing place to hold your meetings.
You're very kind to say that, and honestly, we are truly blessed to have that opportunity. Mr. Keith Kelly owns that facility, and he has been very generous in allowing us to use that. He has a community room that he allows other people to use in the community as well, but he's very community focused, and his people are wonderful. They serve us a dinner on our Tuesday evening meal, so that runs $15, and you couldn't get that meal for less than $25 anywhere else in the country, honestly. Yeah. So it's really outstanding, and our membership appreciates it, and we get, Jeff, you've been to quite a few of our meetings, and I think you would concur that we have excellent turnout at our meetings. And I attribute that to a lot of that reason.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Farmview, this Friday, I think it's at 2 o'clock. Is it 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? They're going to have
I think it's 2, yeah.
2, yeah, okay. They're going to have a candidate for United States Senate that will be there, and that is Derek Dooley, along with Governor Brian Kemp. And so there's an opportunity, if you're still torn, like a lot of people are, on who to vote for U.S. Senate, I encourage you to, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you if you want to meet one of the candidates, that's a great opportunity because these folks usually take questions. You can hear, you're not watching a TV negative ad. You're getting it straight from the candidate. And Chris, I'm sure you would agree that, folks that are still trying to figure things out, what an opportunity to come into your backyard at Farmview in Madison this Friday afternoon.
I'll tell you, Jeff, it makes a huge difference, and that's open to not only people from Morgan County, but anywhere and everywhere in the state. If you're in that area, you'd be foolish not to take advantage of that. One, to have the governor there, but two, to have Derek Dooley, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him, and with the 10th district having obviously we're going to have a congressional seat opening up, and Derek is a fine individual, and we have other great individuals who are running, but I think you need to take advantage of that when you can do that, to go hear somebody. And I heard him in the debate on television, and I was at Newton County at that barbecue they had just recently, and he spoke there as well. And he's a fine individual, but that's another one. It's not easy to make the decision, and you need to at least educate yourself. So, I think that would be a great one.
Well, and let me clarify. That is this Friday, May the 8th at Farmview. It's actually 3 o'clock.
It is 3. I apologize.
3. Well, now, hold on. Now, if you get there at 2, you can grab you something to eat, and then get an ice cream cone, and then go shopping inside Farmview, and then
I like the way you're thinking, Jeff.
The governor and Derek Dooley rolling in at 3. So there we go. Hey, speaking of Derek Dooley, have you noticed, Chris, that he is surging in the polls? In fact,
I saw he was 22%.
Yeah, he is actually in at least 2 polls I've seen. He is now past Buddy Carter and gotten into second behind Mike Collins. So Derek is, kind of like, he talks like he's a former football coach, and you want to save your good stuff for the fourth quarter, and this is the fourth quarter because he's wanting to get into a runoff with our congressman here, Mike Collins.
That's right. I think he seems to be a fine individual, and he's making a strong push right now, and that's admirable. So.
Yeah, it really is. Now, I also wanted to ask you, I'm talking to Chris Alexander, who's the chair of the Morgan County Republican Party. But Chris, when you look at these polls, now you take them for what they're worth, but many of them from different sources have a common denominator, and that is undecided voters. And we are well into advanced voting. And I think even in that U.S. Senate race, I saw a poll last week that had like 54% undecided, and early voting had started. Chris, I know there's always some undecided, but when you're getting up to like half the voters that are being polled, and there's different sampling sizes, but when half the people they poll when early voting has started that doesn't really have a clue who they're going to vote for, that's an interesting dynamic.
Well, interesting is a kind word for it. I think about us having, we're talking about Derek and Mike Collins, both being basically from each other's backyards, right?
Right.
And then you've got Buddy Carter, who's down on the coast of Georgia. It's such a large position that of U.S. Senator. I think. If those people haven't really touched your life and your community, I guess you're just not focused on it. Honestly, I don't understand it because, like you, I live and breathe this stuff. So it's hard for me to be able to understand or explain why people aren't all over it.
Yeah. Well, once again, I get back to what we were talking about a minute ago. You need to do your homework, have a plan before you go cast your ballot on, who are in your opinion, not only your opinion, but based on your research, who are the right candidates. And Chris, I think what people are going to struggle with, there's 2 categories on this ballot for the primary, and that is public service commissioner. You're going to vote for 2 of those, and then these judicial judges, the courts. Now, I will tell you on the justices or the judges, my recommendation is that you vote for the incumbents. But on this public service commission, now remember, if you're pulling a Republican or a Democratic ballot, you're going to see names, and they're going to be. I think. Let's see. Let me back up. The Public Service Commission, if you're pulling a Democratic ballot, will you see the same names over there, or are these? This is not nonpartisan, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, so if you're pulling a Republican ballot, for instance, you're going to see Fitz Johnson, Brandon Martin for District 3,
right.
And then in District 5 you'll see Bobby Meehan, Carolyn Roddy, and Josh Tolbert. But point being, you need to know, like for PSC, because who you're voting for, because that's going to affect your energy bills.
You know, this time around, it's more important than anything. As you and I are both aware, we lost a couple seats to Democrats the last time around, and so we have a very slim majority. There are 5 Public Service Commission seats, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and so we control 3 of them, but we've got several up for grabs right now, and one of them we can recapture. And that is very important, because otherwise, Katie barred the door.
That's right. Hey, well, remember this Friday at 3 o'clock at Farmview in Madison, just south of I-20, your chance to hear from United States Senate candidate Derek Dooley. Governor Kemp will be there. That's at 3 o'clock Friday. And then Tuesday night at 6 o'clock at Farmview, the Morgan County Republican Party will welcome Lieutenant Governor candidate Blake Tillery. If you want to get there early and grab a bite to eat, that'll start around 5:15. And then when the folks come in, Chris, they'll also, if they're new to it, they'll want to find out how they can become members, because you need to be a member of your local political party.
Love the way you're thinking.
Yes, sir. I knew you would. So, well, Chris, thanks so much for joining us. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get over there Friday, maybe, but I'll look forward to seeing you and the crew over at Farmview on Tuesday evening.
Jeff, we always look forward to seeing you and enjoyed being a guest on your show today. Thank you, sir. All
right. Thanks so much. That has been Chris Alexander from the Morgan County Republican Party. We're a little behind schedule, but never fear. We're going to take a break, and the amazing Chastity's going to catch us up. You're listening to The Marc McMain Show with Jeff Hood on Wednesdays on Q92.3.
I'm Brett Malden, Republican for State House. My wife Candace and I are blessed to raise 3 kids right here in our community, and I believe my role as a father is to protect. And that includes protecting our conservative values. In the State House, that's exactly what I'll do. Whether it's crushing the woke agenda, cracking down on sanctuary cities, securing our elections, or defending our rights from government overreach, I'll stand up for your family and for mine. I'm Brett Malden, and I approve this message because our way of life is worth protecting. Paid for by Brett Malden for Georgia.
Are you looking for new tires? Well, look no further than Madison Car Care. They have the largest selection, and you'll always get the best price. They also handle a wide range of auto repairs, from the small things like oil changes and wiper blades to the big things like suspension, parts, and radiators. They offer all kinds of accessories, from toolboxes to bed covers, side steps, and they even install those awesome ranch hand bush guards. Give them a call at 706-342-4774 or stop by at 1040 Confederate Road in Madison.
Employee pricing has arrived at Aikens Ford & Winder with up to $14,000 off MSRP on select 2026 Ford F-250 Lariat diesel pickups through May 31st. Hi, this is Brad Aikens, and we have over 100 of these in stock. Stock number 72754, MSRP $87,860. Discount includes $1,000 dealer assistance with approved financing through Ford Credit and another $1,000 trade assistance with your 2010 or newer trade. Discount does not include $7.99 doc fee and $84 electronic filing fee. Dealer retains factory rebates plus government fees. See dealer for details. Visit us today at AikinsFord.com.
Mother's Day is May the 10th. Put a big old smile on Mom's face with a great gift selection of goodies and more from Stripling's General Store in Bogart. Check out the gift baskets full of Mom's favorite things like jams, jelly, sweets, and so much more. Or you can build a gift basket. There's something for every mom from Stripling's General Store. Highway 78 East and Highway 53 in Bogart. Stripling's wishing all moms a happy Mother's Day.
Welcome back to the Mark McMain Show on WMOQ. I'm Jeff Hood. So, Chastity, you and I were talking during the break about who has the best biscuits. And the reason I brought this up is because on AJC.com today, there was an interesting story. They had some folks that went around in Atlanta and did a taste test of biscuits. And the question is, who makes the best biscuits in Atlanta? So I want to ask you, who makes the best biscuits in Walton, Morgan, Oconee County?
Oh,
that's a tough one.
Stripling's has really good biscuits.
Yes, they do.
Breakfast biscuits, kind of the big, kind of old-fashioned, where they're actually handmade, not frozen. And then there's a place in Covington, Mamie's Kitchen.
Ooh.
They have great breakfast too.
Man,
good
that
biscuits.
Sounds good. Yeah.
But yeah, like locally here, I would definitely suggest Stripling's. They have the good homemade biscuits.
Well, the six that they really focused on in Atlanta to do their biscuit taste test was the Atlanta Breakfast Club. That sounds interesting.
Sounds good.
Bomb Biscuit, B-O-M-B, Bomb Biscuit.
Must be the bomb.
Yeah, I guess so. Buttermilk Kitchen.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know what this is. Finca to Filter, F-I-N-C-A. I'm not sure what that is, to filter. Pastries, A Go-Go, and Sugarloaf. And then I think, let's see, who ended up being the grand champion? It was Sugarloaf.
Oh, okay.
Sugarloaf. They had 11 people do the judging, and Sugarloaf got 7 votes out of 11. So next time I'm in Atlanta and I'm craving a biscuit, I'll see if I can look up Sugarloaf.
Where's your go-to biscuit
well,
place?
I'm just a simple person, and I just go to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, hey, those
biscuit.
are good too.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I go so much, it seems like one day it'll taste slightly different than the previous day, which tells me that the cook back there, the way that they, roll the biscuits or whatever, the little magic,
little extra love in this ingredient.
Yeah. And let me ask you, maybe I'm a little weird, but sometimes at Chick-fil-A, I like it when my biscuit is a little bit crunchy, like when you bite into it. I don't like it too soft. And I don't know if crunchy is the right word.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I do not like with a biscuit is crumbs.
Yes.
If you go through a drive-through and your biscuit is dropping crumbs everywhere, when you get to your destination, you need a vacuum or something, because it's just going to go everywhere.
Yeah. I like my biscuits kind of soft, so I'll even wrap mine in like aluminum foil just to kind of keep that moisture in there, so they're even a little more softer on some of those kind of hard edges. But yeah, if there are crumbs in there like that, I always throw them out to the blackbirds.
Okay. Well,
the birds enjoy it. Yep.
There you go. They'll eat anything. Yeah. So even crumbs from like your floorboard in your car. So.
Old French fries.
Yeah. Well, Happy Meals and all. Oh, I remember those days. All right. So, hey, want to remind you, we told you at the beginning of the show, this Saturday, Les Lane and Billy Brew will be at Stripling's this Saturday, 10 to 1. Now, tomorrow on the Mark McMain Show, Taylor Hawkins will be guest hosting. And if you want to learn about more candidates, tune in tomorrow at noon, because he's got quite the lineup. He's going to have Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones who's running for governor, Congressman Mike Collins, who's running for Senate, and State Rep Houston Gaines, who is running for Congress. Did you like the way I didn't even have any notes there? I knew what their current position is and what they're running for.
Smart.
So I'm just...
hey, you are the go-to person when it comes to...
Well, that's unfortunate.
Anything that's going on currently, bill-related, anything, GOP. You're just great, full of advice, and also full of savings. So can't go wrong with you, Jeff.
That's right. So I appreciate it.
And by the way, my daughter said Wild West Barbecue has the best biscuits in her opinion.
Wow. Where's that at?
So next to Youth Middle School, over off of 81.
Jersey or Monroe?
Loganville, kind of.
Loganville,
So,
okay.
yeah, Wild West.
Man.
We'll have to try them too.
I'm getting hungry
I'll bring
already.
us some next week. How about
Okay,
that?
sounds good. All right, so we talked about some of these candidates on the ballot, and we're going to try to get a gentleman on the line that's running for Public Service Commission and let him tell you all about his credentials. And so we will step away, take a break, and come in with our next guest on the final segment of today's Marc McMain Show on Real Country Q 92.3.
Leadfoot Mulching and Grading offers land clearing, hauling of gravel and sand and more, and now offering screen topsoil for the farmer or homeowner, asphalt paving and more. No job is too big or small. Locally owned and operated, it's Leadfoot Mulching and Grading, serving all of North Georgia. Fair prices and great customer service. Phone 404-909-5227 or go to leadfootmulching.com.
As spring blooms, so does engagement season. At P&A Jewelers, voted the area's best jeweler and jewelry store, and celebrating 50 years, we offer a beautiful selection of engagement rings. Let us custom create exactly what your heart desires. Visit us in person next to Quick Trip in Loganville or online at shoppajewelers.com. P&A Jewelers, where your forever begins.
Employee pricing has arrived at Aikens Ford & Winder with up to $14,000 off MSRP on select 2026 Ford F-250 Lariat diesel pickups through May 31st. Hi, this is Brad Aikens, and we have over 100 of these in stock. Stock number 72754, MSRP $87,860. Discount includes $1,000 dealer assistance with approved financing through Ford Credit and another $1,000 trade assistance with your 2010 or newer trade. Discount does not include $7.99 doc fee and $84 electronic filing fee. Dealer retains factory rebates plus government fees. See dealer for details. Visit us today at AikensFord.com.
If you're selling or buying a home, you should call AMPM Septic to inspect your septic tank. This could save you on costly repairs. AMPM pumps your tank, fixes septic alarms, drain lines. They can fix any problem you're having with your septic tank. Call 770-231-7979. They do inspection letters. AMPM is family owned and operated, licensed and insured company. Call David for all your septic needs. 770-231-7979.
I'm conservative Doug McKillop. When Rhino Republicans face pressure from Democrats, they fold. Not me. I went to battle with Stacey Abrams and won, ending barbaric late-term abortions in Georgia. It made me the radical left's #1 target in the state, and it cost me my House seat. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Would I do it again? Absolutely. My name is Doug McKillop, and with your vote, I'm ready to take on and defeat the radical left Democrats. Paid for by Doug for a conservative Georgia.
Welcome back to the Marc McMain Show on Real Country Q 92.3. Well, we've been talking a lot on this show about early voting and the primary and having a plan and knowing the candidates before you go to cast your ballot. And you look and you've got Senate, Governor, Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, the list goes on and on. But Chastity, I would argue one of the most important races on the ballot is Public Service Commission. We've got two that are on this ballot, District 3 and District 5, but those are statewide elections. And so you're going to have a chance to go to that ballot box, and you're going to have to pick somebody. And one of the gentlemen I know that wants you to pick his name is running for PSC District 3, and that is Fitz Johnson. And Fitz, thanks for taking a few minutes to join us this afternoon.
Oh, my goodness, Mark. Thanks so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually Jeff sitting in for Mark. Mark is running for, Mark's running for state Senate.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But man, a pleasure to have you on the show. And I called you because I've heard you speak in the past because you have been on the Public Service Commission. You're very, very knowledgeable. But I wanted to give you a chance to kind of introduce yourself and tell listeners about who Fitz Johnson is and why you're qualified. But let's kind of start from the beginning. Tell us like where you're from and growing up and a little about your background.
Sure, Jeff. Again, thank you so much for having me. District 3, Public Service Commission, you made a great point right off the bat that we do run statewide, and we look forward to getting out the vote right now. Believe it or not, early voting's in progress.
Yeah.
Jeff, I'm a husband. I got a great wife. She's a lawyer here in town. I'm a father. I've got 4 grown kids. We've got 6 beautiful grandchildren, and I'm a Christian. I served 21 years in the Army, in the U.S. Army, retired. I'm a businessman, and hey, I'm a proven leader, and I've been on the Public Service Commission before. I was appointed by Brian Kemp, served 4.5 years. I'll tell you what, we did a great job while serving the great state of Georgia.
Well,
I grew up in Northern Virginia,
Yeah.
but I've been here in Georgia for 30 years. I live in Atlanta, and just proud to serve.
So I know this is as you mentioned, a statewide race, but where is District 3 located? Kind of give us the lay of the land. District
absolutely. 3. District 3 is Fulton, Clayton, and DeKalb counties. So the map is separated essentially by population. So each district has 2.5 million people in it, and I just have 3 very populated counties.
Okay. So, but even though, you mentioned the counties, more metro Atlanta, the folks over here in the Athens, Monroe, Madison, Lake Oconee area are going to have a voice, and I know that you would love to get their vote. Now, tell people, because you've been on the PSC, you mentioned for like 4.5 years previously.
Yes.
What does it mean? What are the duties of being on the Public Service Commission?
Well, I'll tell you, they're large and wide. But essentially what we do is we regulate. We're regulators. We regulate your electricity, that's your power, your gas, and your telecommunications. Not your cell phones. Because a lot of folks want to talk about cell phones.
Yeah.
But we do telecommunications and the landlines. But we also dip into other aspects of the utilities here in the state of Georgia. It's an interesting, because it touches, what we do touches citizens, all the citizens of the state of Georgia, every day. And that's why I believe it's so important that we get this right. We need conservatives serving on the commission so we can continue to provide, safe, clean, affordable power for everybody.
Yeah. And reliability means a lot. And to me, I think the fact that we're seeing all these companies that are wanting to put in data centers, I'm sure that's a driving force, because they see what, the great job, the PSC and the governor and all folks, involved and have done. And they want to come here just for that reason, mainly because of the reliability.
You hit it right on the head, Jeff. I tell you, it starts at the governor's office with Governor Kemp, and it works its way down. Our economy here in the state of Georgia is great. I tell people love to live here. They love to move here. They love to have their businesses here. I have a business here. And let's talk about the data centers. That's the elephant in the room. When we talk about the experience that I've already had on the Public Service Commission, we put in place rules to handle what we call large loads. That is data centers, a lot of data centers, but it's other big corporations as well, to where they are going to pay their fair share. I want everybody to understand when these large loads come in, okay, it is not going to raise the rates of our small business or our ratepayers. It's just not going to happen. And I'm going to repeat that. It is not going to raise your rates. I won't let it raise your rates.
That's good to know, because that's the key. People want to know, not only do they want to have reliability, they flip the switch, the lights come on, but they also want to, pay a reasonable amount monthly to their power provider.
Absolutely. And you make a great point with, we don't have brownouts. We don't have blackouts here in the state of Georgia. The reliability factor is you have to make that part of your measurement as you start to allocate who's going to get what. Reliability is high on our list. In Georgia, we like to wake up, flip the light switch, and the lights come on.
Now, we're talking to Fitz Johnson, candidate for Public Service Commissioner. You'll see him on your ballot as you go vote, District 3. Fitz, you mentioned conservative Christian. We watch the national news, and we kind of see what's going on the other side of the country in California, where I would argue, a lot of liberals, and they're the green, I guess the new green, or whatever they call it, agenda.
Yeah, the Green New Deal, yeah.
But gosh, you just hear the brownouts, the blackouts, blackouts, and they're just paying outrageous amount for their energy. And sounds like if you can get back into office, it's going to be the exact opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at California, you look at New York, you look at Chicago, their rates are through the roof. They're scheduling brownouts. They have blackouts, things that we don't have here in the state of Georgia. And we want to make sure that we continue that. And right now, there are 2 Democrats that sit on a 5-member board, or 5 commission. So we need to get that, we got an opportunity this time to pick up a seat, so we go up 4-1 to make sure that we continue to make sure that good conservatives are running our power grid here in the state of Georgia.
Yeah. So Fitz, we kind of you've told us, but if you kind of wrapped it up, why should people vote for you as they go and vote in this primary, which will culminate with voting day on May the 19th?
I'm very proud of my record of sitting on the commission. We froze rates back when I was on the commission. Worked very hard to make sure we froze rates for 3 years. We are continuing to work hard on reliability, make sure the energy is safe. I'm a proven conservative, good Christian that I think that you'd be very proud to put me back on the commission to make sure that we keep those things in place.
Excellent. Now, if folks want to learn more about you, your campaign, maybe help you out in some way, where are you on the web? Absolutely.
Friendsforfitz.com is where you can find me. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook as well. I'm a little older, so I don't get all the handles right all the time. But if you find Friends for Fitz, you're going to find me on there. Okay. So we look forward to you. I hope I can earn your vote now until the 15th of May, and if not, on primary day, May 19th.
All right. And Fitz, F-I-T-Z. There you go. Sir. Well, Fitz Johnson, thanks so much for taking a moment to speak with us. And I'm sure the listeners learned a lot about, what the PSC does. And you're a good one for them to consider. So, hey, good luck out there on the campaign trail.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate you having me.
All right. That has been Fitz Johnson. And, man, just a great guy. So, take a hard look at him. I've met him. I was impressed. And I tell you, I want, like I said, when I flip the switch, I want lights. I want to see. I want, if it's going to be 10 degrees, I want heat in my house. Or if it's going to be 100 degrees, I want the AC to run. It's things we take for granted. And that's why it's critically important to have the right people in office for Public Service Commission. And I tell you, years ago, I didn't even know who was on the PSC. So it's important. And I think the data centers coming really got people talking about, well, what's going on? My rates, who's on the PSC?
Yeah. So it's good to know that they're not going to increase anything right now, but there's still a lot of questions about them kind of lingering, especially in the back of my mind. So. Yeah,
I think so, but they're popping up, so we'll see. I would say I'm on Walton EMC. I feel like for what we generate in our home, I pay a reasonable amount. Sure. So.
Well, I know Walton takes good care of.
Oh yeah, it's a great company.
We are in a great community
in Monroe. So yeah. Well, it's been an eventful afternoon on the Marc McMain Show, and thanks for joining us. Thanks again to Chris Alexander from the Morgan County Republican Party and Fitz Johnson, who's running for Public Service Commissioner District 3. Now, remember, tomorrow on the Taylor Hawkins Show, well, not really, the Marc McMain Show, hosted by Taylor Hawkins on Thursdays, he's going to have Burt Jones, Mike Collins, and Houston Gaines on. Now, next week, I am scheduled to have on Wednesday another candidate for PSC, Carolyn Roddy. We're going to have Bart Benton, the attorney. He's going to kind of do something unique, and if there's some scenario where you may have to take legal action, he's going to give advice. That'll be a lot of fun. And then Patrick Graham, editor, publisher of the Walton Tribune, Covington News, and now the Oconee Enterprise. He's going to join us to kind of give us an update on what's going on with the Oconee Enterprise, which he acquired about a month ago.
It's always a treat having Patrick.
Oh, he's a great guy. So yes, indeed. And don't forget Saturday Striplings. Billy Brew and Les Lane will be over there 10-1. And if you want to go see Derek Dooley and Governor Kemp, they're going to be at Farmview in Madison, 3 p.m. on Friday.
But go at 2 p.m. if you want to eat some ice cream.
Oh, I love their ice cream.
I love ice cream.
And their food.
2 p.m. sounds good for me.
Yep. There you go. All right. It's been a wonderful afternoon. So make it real and have a great afternoon, everybody. This is Jeff Hood and Chastity Stewart sitting in for Marc McMain on Real Country Q 92.3.